If the Golden State Warriors are serious about making one final championship push in the twilight of Stephen Curry's career, they may need to fix the one weakness that continues to hold them back. Head coach Steve Kerr has rotated Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, and Buddy Hield alongside Curry in the backcourt to open the season. But according to Bleacher Report's Greg Swartz, there's one ideal trade target who could immediately elevate Golden State's two-way potential: Derrick White of the Boston Celtics. At 31, Derrick White isn't exactly young anymore but would look like a spring chicken alongside Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Al Horford on these Golden State Warriors, Swartz wrote. Derrick White seen as ideal defensive partner for Curry. Swartz argued that White's two-way ability is the perfect complement for the 38-year-old Curry, whose defensive intensity naturally can't match his prime years. White would also be the perfect backcourt partner for a 38-year-old Curry, who probably isn't going to be giving all defensive efforts on a nightly basis at this stage of his career, Swartz added. A two-time NBA All-Defensive second-team selection, White remains one of the league's most versatile guards, capable of defending multiple positions and protecting the rim at an elite level. Swartz called him perhaps the best shot-blocking guard we've seen since Dwayne Wade. In addition to defense, White brings efficient playmaking, three-point shooting, and championship experience, all invaluable traits for a Warriors team looking to squeeze out another deep playoff run from its veteran core. White's role in Boston could be in flux amid slow start. White has started the new season averaging 20.0 points per game, but his efficiency has dipped as he shouldered a heavier offensive load following injuries to Jason Tatum, Achilles, and the off-season departures of Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, and Drew Holiday. He's shooting just 31.6% from the field and 29.2% from three, a sharp contrast to the 44.2% overall and 38.4% three-point mark he posted during Boston's 2024 championship run. The numbers suggest that White thrives best as a complementary player, not as a primary offensive hub, a role he could seamlessly resume in Golden State next to Curry, Butler, and Green, and his familiarity with Horford. Celtics have set a high bar for trade offers. Despite trade speculation, Boston has no immediate plans to move White. According to NBA insider Jake Fisher, the Celtics would only consider a blockbuster return, comparable to the 5 first-round pick haul the New York Knicks gave up for Mikal Bridges. In July, Brett Siegel of Clutch Points reported that multiple teams offered 2 first-round picks and a swap for White, but Boston turned them down. Celtics executive Mike Zarin directly addressed rumors involving White and Jaylen Brown, emphasizing both are core pieces of Boston's roster. Those two guys are really, really great NBA players, Zarin told reporters after the draft. There hasn't been anything close to serious about trading them. Why the Warriors should still be watching. If the Celtics continue to struggle, that could change, and the Warriors are one of the few teams equipped to pounce. Golden State owns up to 4 tradable first-round picks and several matching contracts, including Jonathan Kuminga's. Kuminga, who re-signed on a 2-year, $48.5 million deal with a team option, has been excellent early, averaging 15.7 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 4.0 assists on 55.2% shooting and 50% from deep. Still, if the Warriors see White as the missing piece to reignite their championship window, the front office may face a difficult decision: keep building around Kuminga's growth, or trade for the two-way guard who could maximize Curry's remaining prime. The Golden State Warriors couldn't keep their early momentum rolling on Friday night, falling 139-119 to the Portland Trail Blazers. Coming off a thrilling overtime win over the Denver Nuggets just 24 hours earlier, Golden State looked drained. The team committed 25 turnovers and never found the rhythm that carried them through their first 2 games of the season. Still, Stephen Curry refused to slow down. After dropping 40 in the win over Denver, he followed it up with 35 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists against Portland, shooting 12 of 22 from the field and 7 of 14 from deep. It wasn't enough to salvage the night, but it was another glimpse of how much the Warriors still rely on their ageless star. A reminder of who runs the show. The night before, Curry put on a masterclass in front of the Chase Center crowd. He exploded for 42 points against the defending champion Nuggets, scoring 28 after halftime. His 34-foot, game-tying three with 21 seconds left in regulation sent the arena into chaos and the Warriors to an overtime win. It was vintage Curry, the shot-making, the crowd, the emotion. Nights like that remind the league that his reign isn't over yet. That performance also moved him closer to one of the few players whose name still hovers beside his in the record books, Michael Jordan. Curry nears Jordan in rare company. With his outburst against Denver, Curry now stands within reach of one of Jordan's most remarkable scoring marks, the most 40-point games by a player after turning 30. Jordan's total sits at 44, while Curry has now recorded 42 and counting. With his outburst against Denver, Curry now stands within reach of one of Jordan's most remarkable scoring marks, the most 40-point games by a player after turning 30. Jordan's total sits at 44, while Curry has now recorded 42 and counting. That places him firmly among an elite list that includes Damian Lillard, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James, but no one has closed the gap on Jordan the way Curry has. It's another milestone that speaks to how much he's redefined aging in the NBA. What it means for the Warriors. Golden State's early schedule has been a test of endurance. The win over Denver showed how dangerous the Warriors can be when everything clicks. The loss to Portland showed how quickly it can fall apart when fatigue sets in. But even through the grind, Curry's consistency remains the stabilizer. With Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and Al Horford forming the veteran core, Golden State has the leadership to weather early season adversity. And Curry, as always, is the one setting the standard. The calm in the storm, the constant in transition. The bigger picture for the Warriors. The Warriors may have split their back-to-back, but their outlook remains the same. As long as Stephen Curry is on the floor, they'll have belief. His name being mentioned alongside Jordan isn't about rivalry, it's about longevity, mastery, and how both players changed what greatness looks like over time. For Curry, records are secondary to rhythm. But when that rhythm leads him into conversations with the greatest to ever do it, it's a reminder of what makes him special. And for the Warriors, it's proof that even after all these years, their star is still chasing history, one impossible shot at a time. As far as Derrick White trade rumors go, it's nearly impossible to find one that's realistic. Unless Boston Celtics president of basketball ops Brad Stevens received a historically fat package overflowing with first-round draft picks and good players, too, White isn't going anywhere anytime soon. That didn't stop Bleacher Report's NBA writer Greg Swartz from reminding everyone this week how much White would help the Golden State Warriors. At 31, Derrick White isn't exactly young anymore but would look like a spring chicken alongside Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Al Horford on these Golden State Warriors. Swartz wrote in a piece entitled, "One trade target for every NBA team this season." White would also be the perfect backcourt partner for a 38-year-old Curry, who probably isn't going to be giving all defensive efforts on a nightly basis at this stage of his career, Swartz continued. White is still one of the most efficient multi-positional defenders in the NBA and perhaps the best shot-blocking guard we've seen since Dwayne Wade. A good ball handler, three-point shooter, and high IQ player with championship experience, White would go a long way in helping the Warriors chase one last title with his core. Of course, White would improve the Warriors. He'd make any NBA team better that he joins. White in Golden State would be an absolute nightmare for the Celts, especially as fans would see him running pick and roll with Al Horford, a nauseating image for Bostonians. In fact, Stevens would be foolish to trade White to any team that's contending or on the verge of contending, and we know Stevens is the furthest thing from foolish. White is good enough to push fringe contenders into contenders, or to turn a contender into a top favorite. His impact is that special, and Stevens is aware of that. White is under contract with the Celtics until a player option in 2028 to 29. That's at least 2 more seasons with Derrick and Green following this current season. Fans can rest easy knowing that White will be here for at least that long, and probably longer.